Assalamu alaikum, Jumima. Let's do let's do the the corrections. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Okay, let us Scarlet ink. Scarlet. It's actually a Dala ink that I'm using. I just put the Dala ink in these what you call it, small containers I got for 5 Rand somewhere. So let's test it out. It's like a more like a dark orange, you can call it. So والضحى بسم الله. So yeah, just gonna say this one, let's bring it down a little bit, like that. So, yeah, like that. But the lamb goes here. So almost like in line. Okay. Yeah, this will be the actual baseline. That will be the baseline. Okay. But I see why Auntie Mema put this here. Possibly because to resolve the issue of the height. So you could do something like we do in Ruka, where you make this go like that. That's going to change the character. So usually what I do is for God, I leave this corner sort of like open. Yeah? Um, okay. One lady. And then the other thing is like I round my tips so that when I have to do like a point, you see it's becoming like a very fine point. I don't know if it's like clear here. So there's the thickness. So when I need to do a point, then I sort of like roll it like this. Sort of roll it. Maybe I should use a darker ink. Let's try this maroon. Yeah, you can see it better because now the it becomes nice and fine when you have a column that you have like a rounded edge. Maybe if I let me just see if I have other columns here. Do I have another column? It's a bigger one. I think this is a Janubi one. Let's see. Yeah, it's dirty. It's not accepting the ink. So what I do like with my, okay, so if I do this, it's just gonna make it straight, right? And it's gonna make the corners sort of like sharp. And then I take my fingers like this. Maybe I should just zoom out a little bit. I take my fingers like this and I roll it like this. I hold it at the angle so that the tip is sort of like a rolling. So when I turn it like this, it's and I'm doing it very, very lightly. I'm almost like allowing the weight of the pen to to just be that pressure. I'm not actually adding any extra pressure on it. And then you'll see like the tips, just the edges get a very light sand. You see, so you should use another type of ink. Let's see. So this ink maybe not mixed properly. Oops, I'm missing on here. But you can see here, like the minute I move, you can see the minute I go out of this thickness here, and I want to make it thin, then I just roll it. I just roll it, okay. And that rolling motion is gonna roll it to the rounded corner. And that rounded corner, let's try the orange again. Yeah, that rounded corner is gonna allow me to do that. So if you do it slowly, you can sort of like control it better. And then obviously it depends on the pressure and amount of ink. Yeah, sorry, I'm missing a lot here. Yeah. Okay, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. So I think all of these, um, it's not too bad because when I look at where the curves is it's sort of like in line with the curve, like the bottom, the lower baseline, right? Because here's the baseline. We until remember drew it here, right? That's the baseline. Okay. That's the baseline. So this one should have been so like yeah, yeah, it should be here. So that corner must be like on the baseline. That's what I was referring to. ما ودعك ربك. And then maybe just okay, there's no tashkilat on here now. So I can't actually mark the tashkilat. ودعك ربك وما قلى. Like maybe there must be a on all the alif maqsura, like الضحى, سجاء. You have to add that small, call it the alif khanjariya. Alif, uh, so it's khanjariya. Khanjariya. The alif khanjariya, al khanjariya is the dagger. Dagger alif. Because it's like a small knife, right? ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة. It's nice. I like this. I started actually implementing that in my work. Oh yes. I want to show. I actually want to show Auntie Umaima this one. Um, I can't do it now because they're mopping here. وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى. There's a alif khanjaliya. But like I said, there's no other tashkilat, so I'm not really marking that. ولا سوف. Always the space in the second part of the scene is normally bigger. Normally bigger. يعطيك. You must connect here. Must connect. يعطيك ربك فترضى. Yes. there's a small X here, not sure what it is. Yeah. ترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى. So there's this. Yeah. So I was thinking about this one here, this shape here. Instead of making it like a S shape, like Antimamas got it like this, it looks a bit disconnected in this area. Looks a bit disconnected. So it must actually be closer because the reason why is because the origin of this shape with the two eyes is actually in the Kufic, right? Where they have this and then there's two small eyes in it, right? So it must actually be more closer together. It must be more closer together. Right? So in order to bring it more closer together, I have to bring this area here closer. Right? Like here, something like this. So we're going there is a fur, then we're going around, it goes straight up, and then just make it like this. فهذا وجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم. This I think yeah, and you remember missed the meme. فأما فأما just incorrect spelling here. اليتيم فلا تقهر. Yeah, I think it's a little bit better, but also like there. So we could have, but I like this. Very nice, actually. It's not that I want to change it. You see, so the movement goes straight up and then like this. تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر. So here is a different type, and I think I know the reason why is because Auntie Maima's got this bump going like this. So we could actually make it the Kajurhumi style, which means that the mark is going downwards. When it goes downwards, then naturally it will move into this. But I don't think this is incorrect, but maybe just to be consistent with the previous ones, it might look better just for consistency purposes to use that one throughout the entire surah. وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. So must be on the line. So just maybe start. So generally, if you're writing letters that's not going to be stacked. So say for example, we have what is our alif height? Say the alif height is like this, right? Then we start from the middle of the alif, right? So say for example, I'm writing a fa and a ba, right? Like that. Then I can generally start like from there. But if I'm going to stack letters, then I'm going to start from the top of the alif. Like that. And usually the ha gets stretched a little bit more. Because look, the origin of this Janubi ismus nas, right? Most of the style of the connections and so on is actually based on NAS. So we're trying to sort of like maintain the NAS element so it has a connection to the original script. But we must now using the style of writing to give it a different look. Right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alam. So with meme, lam and meme. So what I do normally is like lam, and then the meme can go just here, like nasr, right? So normally with when we're doing, okay, so in nasr it's like this, right? If there's a meme and you want to make the khanjariya, that style, if you want to make this style, then you put it at the bottom. You put that mark at the bottom here. But if you want to make it go like this, then you connect it from the top. So if I want to go it from the bottom, I do it from the top, and I do it from the. So we can possibly like maintain that. Alam nashrah. Nice. نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا I think this عين maybe just slightly wider. Yeah, maybe because it must look flat on the top so that it doesn't resemble a fa, for example. عنك وزرك الذي I noticed that the نقطة in the ذال الذي أنقض ظهرك. Yeah. So here also, with this dha, for example, you can actually use this one. You can actually use this type of ha. ورفعنا لك ذكرك. فإن مع العسر I think the size there L yeah, just the size in between, the space in between the ain and the sin and the ra. مع العسر يسرا. See this, there's an issue there. يسرا إن مع العسر مع okay, this corner here looks like there's going to be a meme there. So the corner must just be a little bit round. And العسر يسرا. Like this one is better. This one is better. Compared to the others, right? Compared to the others, because there's a space here. فإذا فرغت. I think with the nuqat, we try not to keep it so far. With the nuqat. فرغت. So we have ghain, right? And then we have the ta. Must just be like that. Right? Just be like that. فانصب. Oh, I see. And remember is doing this type of ending now. فرغت. So we had that one. The موقوفة. Called موقوفة. And this one is مجموعة. So you have this is موقوفة. موقوفة is when it stops like this. مجموعة is when it curves. or hook, and mursala is when it has, like for example, a point. Now, maybe you want to make like a long ta, then that long ta will end like a point, almost like a sword, right? So it's mawqufa, majmu'a, and mursala. But in all three, we're gonna keep the nuqat that amount of space apart. وَإِلَى رَبِّكَ فَارْغَب. MashaAllah. And then you just have to blow it a little bit so that it doesn't smudge. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, this is my colored coated paper. I'm just practicing on here, but I'm also messing on it because so if you compare it, this is a blue, it's actually a blue paper. It's a Fabriano paper, which I've made, not ahar on, can't say ahar really, but it's coated. It is coated, not, it's a synthetic coating. It's not a natural coating. So synthetic coating, it's like a gesso that I use, transparent gesso, but it works well like for practice. So you can practice, especially with acrylic inks. It works nicely with acrylic inks. So for example, it works nice with this. Where's mommy? Is the door open? Can I ask mommy for mommy's box quickly? Don't let it fall. Okay, I need to show Auntie Umaima this. Um, and the reason why I'm going to show is uh, is for various reasons, but Auntie Umaima will really like this. Uh, I'm just writing anything here. Naam. Yeah. So yeah, typically you can see here like this meme. If I want to make this meme alifia, this we call meme alifia because there's an alif going down. So if you want to make the meme alifia, then you have to make, well, in our style, the Janubi meme is now going up here and then we're coming down. But can you see the connection from the top? Okay. This is what I wanted to show in Umaima. This is Nazira's box that I made for her. You can see this box is this is Janubi style. That is noon fa. You can see there the noon and the fa connected. Her initials, Nazira Fakir. And then obviously her name also, Nazira. And look at I've implemented Auntie Umaima's suggestion. But when we're writing like this, for example, is a large. This is most now the jelly writing because it's large, right? So what I did was this gap, I made it very, very thin, almost like the old style Kufik. So old Kufik style, I have this very thin gaps in between when you're making certain parts of the huruf. So I thought I'll implement that. What I also do sometimes in this Jali style is I will oh, let me just show the rest of the box actually. So at the back, Indonesian flag colors, it's the red and white flag, but it's also the South African flag colors, which is the red, yellow, there's blue and green. And it's the inside of the box. This is her name repeated in Sibeke, and this is Nazira's um, lineage, family lineage. Nazira and the father Sulaiman Fakir, Abdul Hakim Fakir, Sulaiman Fakir, Nail Fakir, Fakir Damonse, and Damun van Makassar. So the person who arrived here as a Dutch, with the Dutch as a slave, was kept in Constantia on a farm. This is the family, Damun van Makassar, from Makassar, Indonesia. So I made this box for her for her birthday. But I needed to show Auntie Umaima because it's a Janubi style. And this is the basmala actually. Basmala, basmala in Isibeke. That's the name. Nazira, Nazira, Fakir. Um, okay. Shukri, can you take this box back to my nicely, Camilla? Right, where were we? Okay, is this dry now? I think it's dry. I don't know how much time I got left on my Zoom here. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I like this, and I did this here. But what I would do is, um, okay, let me just demonstrate here quickly. Like you're writing Ar-Rahman, right? So you have your meme and your noon. Then stop here. Don't write this part yet, right? And then first write Ar-Rahim. Okay, now you got the almost like the space to play around with it. So you can draw it nicely. You can say, okay, I need to give myself space here between that. I don't know if it is clear, but you can always go over it. You can do it with pencil first, maybe. Maybe it can be done with pencil first, just so that you have like enough space for the nuqat and the huruf actually, right? That I like this idea. Um, this idea would actually work nicely with let's say, for example, we put Ar-Rahman, right? Let's say we put Ar-Rahman there. And then you see this basmala, if I look at the size of this basmala, the Bismillah, right? It is 6 centimeters, right? And if we look at this here, this is also 6 centimeters. So you could actually use this as the bottom for this, right? So you could, let's say, for example, I'm just going to draw it quickly here, just to show what I mean. Let's say we go, and then maybe here you can have this long, This is actually one of the styles of the Lafzul Jalal in the Mus'haf, right? Bismillah. And then maybe we can put Ar-Rahman. I'm just going to do it quickly. Okay. So so it looks like it could be like a what you call this? Like a nice shape actually. Looks like a oval kind of shape. So that's why I say I like this idea because if you do this, yeah, you can go along that this curvature here. Yeah, so just maybe play around with it a little bit and see all the different ways you can do that. والتين والزيتون وطور. Okay, so the noon, this noon looks going down a lot like this. It's going down a lot. I don't know. I like to keep my noons a little bit more flat. Yeah. Suppose it's okay. It's not too bad. وطور سينين, just the scene a little bit more space. وهذا البلد الأمين. Usually in Naskh and Thuluth and so on, at the bottom, there's no stacking of the nuqat. So they will put this like that, like normal. But if there's a ta or qaf, then it can go stacking. Yeah. That's just almost like an unspoken rule. And it's mainly because at the bottom you have less space to play around with. لقد خلقنا. Yeah, so yeah, maybe the noon. Let's just go in the line. Al-insana, the space between the scenes. Fi. Now here, for example, there's a mad here. So because there's space, maybe there's no kasras or anything here that's going to be in the way. So it could be stretched a little if you want to. I'm not saying it must be stretched. I'm saying if you want to. Fi, because there's must a mad there, right? أحسن تقويم. ثم رددنا وأسفل سافلين. أسفل سافلين. So I think this erased here because probably there's a alif khanjariya there. Yeah? سافلين إلا الذين. Here where there's lots of verticals, like there's a vertical 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the dal is also like a similar height to all these verticals. So I think maybe there must just be a distinction between you get illa, right? And then separate it a little bit, alladina, and make the dal go slightly lower than the lam. Usually dal is not as high as lam, so I think we should maintain that for legibility purposes. Illa alladina amanu. So mim noon. Yeah. Because the noon looks like it's going too high. Yeah. Amanu must be alif. This must, we call it the waw al jama'. Oh, I see the correction is done here. The waw al jama', which means that you have to add the alif with the waw when it's plural, because amanu referring to many people, right? That believes. وعملوا الصالحات. وعملوا الصالحات. الصالحات. فلهم. Okay. أجر غير ممنون. Okay. So maybe options for mamnoon, we could have this is meme, then maybe just a space here, the space between the two memes. I think maybe that just, otherwise mamnoon is written fine. No? Written fine. فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله. Okay. Slight legibility issue here. So the lamb, like that. So this is higher. This is higher than the sin, and the lamb is higher than the ya. Mm, which is the case here, but I think just um, maybe it's the spacing. I don't know. The spacing. It looks like the sin has got three teeth instead of two. And this lafz al-jalala, this must be is got slightly up. The middle one. بأحكم الحاكمين يكذبك. I'm not sure what was meant here. يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين. Okay, I see Auntie Umima wrote it in a pencil again. يا والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. I see Auntie Umima's pencil writing is very nice, actually. إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون ما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين. ما شاء الله. ما شاء الله. I get happy when I see Janubi, to be honest. That's why I had to make a separate video for the corrections. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد